But it's going to take the involvement of every man and woman on this little island of Ireland to change what's currently going on. Unless the involvement of every man and woman on the island, which the majority remain being Irish-born citizens, but how long that's going to last is another thing. So could we unite together, men and women across the country, and try and prevent this government, the WEF, the WHO, the UN, the EU, from doing what they have planned to do since 2020. Folks, let's be honest and fair. Ireland was a lovely little place pre-2020. You know what has happened over the past couple of years. That's only going to develop worse if the men and women of Ireland remain, which the majority are remaining back doing absolutely nothing. The small percentage that is fighting back on a daily basis, they're very low percentage. So therefore, they would need the involvement of every man, woman on the island. What we are, I couldn't give a shite like myself what's happened in Ireland, because at 63 years of age, what have I left? 10, 15, 20 years if I'm lucky. But what we are, and what our intentions are, is protecting, defending our country for Ireland's youth and today's young children that are Ireland's future. Yes, no doubt about it, Ireland's youth should be more active and paying more attention to what's going on. But for some reason or other, they are afraid to step up to the plate. And they're the first group of youths to ever allow what's governed the country to do what they are doing since 2020. But it's their future and they don't realise it. That's at stake. I wouldn't like to tell you what Ireland is going to be like in 15, 20 years from now. That's when the most of today's youth would be raising young children. And God only knows what sort of an environment, what sort of an Ireland there's going to exist at that stage. So for your own sake, guys, parents of young children, grandparents, yes, you will never prevent what's happening from happening if you remain complaining amongst yourselves about it, which Irish people have a tendency to do. That will never solve anything. So if you have any intentions of trying to save Ireland for your future, which are your young children, you fight for your own good and for today's children's good. Do something and try and prevent what's happening from happening. The government of the day, which is top civil servants, political advisors, which are the brains behind Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, don't give a shite what they are doing because they're getting heavily compensated for what they're doing. Who's suffering? Every man, woman and child, especially the middle to lower class across the population. So it would be advisable to start getting vocal. Start bombarding every government department with the problems and issues that you have with them, the concerns that you have with them, because folks, it's not going to improve. It's only going to get worse. I won't frighten you in telling you what it's what it's predicted it's going to be like in 10, 15, 20 years from now. But you're smart enough, people. But complaining amongst yourselves will never solve Ireland's problems. But unfortunately, it's a common Irish thing. Those in government and political top civil servants, political advisors, most of the political representatives countrywide, which are predominantly Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, don't give a fiddler's shite about middle to lower class, to the lower class. They never did, they never will. They always provided and cared for the middle to upper class. Because once gets a TD's job, senator's job, MEP job in Ireland, they lose the run of themselves, the power goes to their head. So Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael have been browbeaten and railroading Irish citizens for that long to think they can remain doing it. It's time that Irish citizens made them change that concept of mind and challenge them on most of their decisions. Because the next thing, if digital ID is introduced, you're actually imprisoned in your own country by these fucking tramps across the country, political representatives, political advisors, the Gardaí and top civil servants. They don't care about you, because they will never be restricted to the extent that Irish citizens will be restricted to if digital ID is introduced. Okay guys, talk to you soon.